Yo, JD here, Terrell Lewis, and as you can see by the title of this video here today, we're going to be talking about AOR Season 14, which I am incredibly excited for, and it actually starts this Sunday at 8 o'clock, which I believe is going to be live streamed through, I'm not sure whose channel it will be. It might be AOR Fizzy's, but I'm pretty sure he'll be taking part in the league himself. But I'm pretty confident there is going to be a live stream, so whoever's doing that, I will hopefully put a link to in the description below, or if not, if you follow me on Twitter, I'll be doing it on the day. But on this, I'm pleased to announce also that I'll be driving in a Toro Rosso with Stu as my teammate, which I'm incredibly happy for, and I'll be going through the reason why I've chosen that car, and also just going through the drivers who are racing in this season as well, because I think this is potentially the most competitive grid that there's probably ever been in AOR, and I just want to go through a list of the drivers and just say a quick little word about each about them, and then I'm just interested to hear your comments of what you're looking forward to the most, even possible predictions in before me disconnecting or bottling or qualifying or whatever. But I'm interested to hear what you think of what you're most excited for. So now, the reason why I've chosen the car, the Toro Rosso, is not only because I feel it's probably the best looking car on the grid. I feel for me personally, having only really tested this recently the past 2 to 3 days, really, to be honest, I haven't used it online prior to this as much. My first choice was definitely Ferrari, which was sadly taken by Tyrrell Martin. But this car, Toro Rosso, I feel really suits my driving style because it's got a little bit of understeer. It's got great traction, so I feel I can always really push the car and just really base myself on just being really aggressive in the corners, because the car is just going to stay stable no matter what. Seems to be pretty good in tyre wear as well. And I know some people are going to say, oh well, it's equal cars, so the cars should all be the same, but I'm sorry, I don't think it's a placebo, and I think most people will tell you as well. I think you can do the same time in every single car. I've been doing that in most cars. There's not really been an issue of that compared to other games, but they're definitely, the handling characteristics seem to be quite different between cars. And this one for me, I just feel I could be the most consistent in and really push myself all the time whilst being very, very stable, which is really important for my driving style. Kind of like how it was on 2013 with the Red Bull and stuff like that. So, and the Caterham in F1 2014, which really did suit me very well. So going back in a car like this, setting some pretty much my PBs in this car as well, I'm really looking forward to the season. And my own expectation for this season is, obviously I want to win. I really want to win so badly. I don't think I need to tell anyone that I want to win this really, really badly. But I'm just going to take it one race at a time and just try and do the best I can, especially in qualifying. If I can do really, really well in qualifying and get near my best every time, then I think we've definitely got a chance this season to do something. But I'm not going to really say I'm going to win it or anything like that. I'm just going to do my best, focus on myself, and we'll take it from there. But going through this list now, which you'll be able to see on the screen now, starting with the Flying Finn. A little word about him. He's a 2-time AOR champion. Not really too much to say. I think he will probably be the man to beat this season, along with Tyrrell Martin and Lee. I think those three are going to be the big other three. I feel are going to be the real strong title contenders. But there's plenty of other people in this league as well, which I'll be going down through the list now. But yeah, the Flying Finn, ultra consistent, a very smart driver, very tactical driver, as I'd say, a very good driving style. Haven't raced him around most tracks around here, but obviously in the Bahrain and that, he was very strong around there. But you know, we could beat him around China, and I think around Suzuka we had the pace in the way as well. So I think it's going to be very, very close this season. But of course, he's going to be a title contender. Tyrrell Martin, not really too much to say as well. He's obviously an AOR champion as well. Hard to say. I'm kidding. But no, he's one of the best drivers I've ever raced against, and one of my best friends in this community as well. I've raced him for almost 5 years now or something like that, so I know fully well of what he's capable of, and I'm really looking forward to racing him wheel to wheel. ESR Lee, aka Dizzy Cupid, AOR champion as well in the past. Very, very quick driver. I say probably potentially the quickest driver at potential raw one lap pace, I'd say. He's probably the quickest guy in F1 over the past few series of a couple of seasons at least. in the race. Very consistent as well. Don't know if he's found his feet completely in the race yet, but I know on his day he's very, very difficult to beat, so I fully expect him to be at the front as well. Sonic T, I'm not even going to say the last name, probably get it completely wrong, but that is the Flying Finn's brother, otherwise known as Alonso, STS F1 Alonso. Someone who I feel has improved massively throughout the last season, especially in the last 12 months or so. I feel he's got some serious pace when he does it. If he can keep it consistent, then I'd place him in that top group to actually be contending for race wins as well, which he already is. Jason 97 F1, one of the most consistent drivers on F1, consistently always there. I don't think he's actually won a race yet in AOR, but he's always consistently fast, and if you make a mistake, he's going to be the guy to actually pick up the position. Moving on for myself, because I've already spoken about that, but Surprise Mer, another one of these guys I'd say is a TT specialist, very quick over one lap, but just needs, I'd say, if he can deliver that in consistent pace, which he has showed definitely glimpses of last season, from what I can remember, then again, I think he'll be someone who will be fighting for podiums, maybe even a race win, but I think he'll be another one of those guys who'll be very strong. GTO Killer Whale, which is otherwise known as Orca, last season, very quick driver. On his day, he can be on pole position around any track when he gets it right. Very quick driver. In the race, as I said, kind of like Surprise Mer, I think if he can make the consistency more and just maybe a little bit better racecraft in some situations, then again, pretty much going to be the same with most of these guys. I'm going to run down through this list, but they can all potentially win a race or be in a podium or anything like that. They've all got some serious pace. But yeah, over one lap pace, I'd say last game, sometimes he was almost unbeatable one lap pace. So again, Stu, who is my teammate, which I'm really happy with, very quick driver, been racing with him since 2013. And I'd say he's very consistent. He's someone who may not have the raw one lap pace, which I think he'd probably agree on if he doesn't mind me saying, but consistent wise, he's up there with the very best, like with Jason and everyone else as well, and very quick at some times. And I believe he's got podiums and stuff in F1 before, but I'm very happy to have him as a teammate, because I feel he'll be honest with me and he'll really push me to try and get the best out myself, and hopefully I can do the same for him as well when we're actually in these races. All-rounder, otherwise known as SDL, all-rounder now, someone I used to race with like online in sprint races back in 2013 and stuff like that. I forgot what his name was back then, but Juices, I think. If you're watching this, I think that's what you were called. Again, another one of these guys who I think has recently switched over to the wheel. Very quick, especially over one lap. Reigning GP2 champion, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't looked in your profile, but I think that's what you are. So again, I think he's going to be one of these guys who's the potential pace is there. It's just the consistency and just the experience of being in this caliber league. Let's see if he can actually deal with the pressure. Taylor Reynolds, someone I've raced with in sprint races online here so far, someone who I wasn't really aware of before, but from what I've seen, he's actually really impressed me in like 3-lap races and 5-lap races. So if he can control that, and I've raced him in wheel to wheel as well, and I was quite surprised of how, you know, a driver I can definitely trust wheel to wheel. So hopefully we will have that on some occasions in this league. So very happy to see him. VBR Raikkonen, I say, is a time trial specialist, a one-lap specialist when he gets it right. In terms of consistency, I think that will come with time with him, and from what I've seen so far, but I'd definitely put him in the category of someone who's very quick over one lap. Cairo Lockdown, a long time competitor I've raced with since like 2012, 2013. On his day, he can have really good pace, someone who's consistent as well. I haven't raced him too much in this game, but I'm really happy to see him back in the league. RG Matiz, someone who I feel is underrated definitely on this game. Someone I've spoken to personally, like an Xbox Live Pi, a really sound guy to speak to, and immensely talented on one lap pace. And I think in the race as well, I think he's only recently turned off his racing line for this game, so he may need a little bit of adjusting, maybe a season or two to really get used to that, because it definitely takes a while when you're racing some serious competition wheel to wheel. But another one of these guys who I feel is very, very good, underrated as well, and I'm hoping he can actually be challenging and really fighting at the top in this league. Langman17, someone I've raced with quite a bit online, who I knew used assists quite a bit, who was really, really quick using assists. You still have to be a good driver, but I think he's recently turned it off, and he's doing pretty well turning it off as well. And someone who definitely deserves to be here from what I've seen so far when I've actually raced him. He's good wheel to wheel, really quick, consistent, definitely someone in this league. NLR Evo, someone who I've been racing with. I think I raced him in 2013 as well. That Abu Dhabi race, I remember, where I needed to win that to possibly win the championship in AOR. Someone that is probably the hardest person to try and pull away from in a league race from my experience, and I think we've seen that already around like Bahrain in esports. Someone who's very, very consistent and is impossible to just pull away from. He's very, very hard to do that, but I'm looking forward to racing with him in this league and bring back some old memories again. A very, very underrated driver in my opinion, but let's see what he can do this season, and I'm really happy to have him back. JH Plays, someone I know on time trial is very, very quick in the race. I haven't really raced him too much in this game, but again, he's not one of these guys, I say like BBR Raikkonen, like a GTO Killer Whale, who are very, very quick over one lap on their day, but in terms of the consistency, I haven't really raced him that much, so it's unfair for me to say that, but consistency wise, let's see what he can do in this league. It's obviously going to be quite daunting when you're racing against this caliber of drivers, because everyone in here I think can get a podium in a race. I don't think there's anyone in here who I'd really say would be getting a podium, possibly getting a podium this season in terms of their pacing consistency, which is the first time I've ever saying that. So happy to have him in the league. Similar to SDL Cal, who I've raced with. I actually raced with yesterday quite a bit as well. Someone who's got really good pace actually. I was actually quite surprised at how good his pace was and how consistent he was as well. So one of these drivers I think maybe to look out for, potentially breaking into like the top 6, something like that in some races. I think he's definitely someone who's a little bit underrated, and from what I've raced with him so far and spoke to him yesterday as well, he seems like a really sound guy. CRL Rosberg, obviously we know him for the past few seasons. On this day, he has really, really good pace, really good pace, but it's just about putting it together. Kind of similar to myself in the past couple of seasons, so happy to have him back and see what he can do. And oh my god, it is my long-time friend, the guy who denied me a championship in Season 9, Broziak96, and I was really, really happy seeing his name again and happy to have him back in this league. And well done for him to actually get to this stage, because I didn't think he'd actually do it, because I'm sure he doesn't mind me saying as well, from what I've seen online racing with him, I think his pace is definitely there. He just needs that consistency, and I think he's struggling with consistency quite a bit, which I'm not really too surprised with, because he's only just bought an Xbox One and he hasn't played competitively for like 2 or 3 years. So I'd expect him like a good few bumps to really be consistent, but I'm really, really happy to see his name on the leaderboard again. Hopefully he doesn't beat me. If we could win a championship, he wouldn't be the one to pit me to this championship, but really, really happy to see him back, and can't wait to race with him in this as well. So that's just my little review of each person racing in the leagues. As I said, I think this league is going to be the best ever to watch, the wheel to wheel, and just the raw speed of each driver that has the potential to get a podium as well. So let me know what you think. Let me know what you're most excited for. As you said, you could do your own little predictions if you want. You can even slate me if you want, because I know that's going to happen with disconnects or bottling it and all this and stuff. But to the people who really do support me, I see all your comments and I really, really do appreciate it. And I hope we can just give you a really good season. And as I said, my expectation, obviously, you know what I want to do. I want to win more than anyone, believe me. But I'm just going to do my best, take it one race at a time, try not to think about future races, and just be smart of my decisions what I make in my race. Something I needed to work on from the last season. So thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed this little analysis kind of video, and I will see you soon. Cheers.